So how many players we have with... well, it's really a lot. It's hard to say. I said 4 out of 4, how many players, but yeah, it's really hard to say. It's too early to speak of the leaders, because, you know, really, I'm trying to figure out. Well, it goes up to board 53. Well, can you imagine? It's up to board 53. All of them have 4 out of 4. So Ilia Smirin against, once again, I forgot who his opponent is, Igor Malakhov, perhaps of Belarus. So Ilia starts with, puts defense, and but not developing the knight from g8, so so-called modern defense. Well, already something not conventional they're playing. Yes, knight c6 is something, well, quite an aggressive approach. f4 and knight d7, so, well, black really gives a lot of space and a lot of tempi, and objectively it shouldn't be good for black, of course, but, you know, for Blitz, those 30 seconds he won with this tricky opening perhaps are more valuable than the space, because at some point it's, of course, gets to a time trouble, and then it's important to have those extra seconds. Knight f6. Yeah, well, so far black, well, he's still solid though. He's still solid. And then c6. Yeah, well, maybe it's not that bad after all for black. Well, black starts counterplay immediately, and it's not clear if this pawn on f4 is better than on f2. So white won 2 tempi on this d5 and f4, so knight went, well, yeah, particularly knight f3 now gives black an opportunity to play knight g4 in some point. Well, now cd5 perhaps is the move, cd5, ed5, or maybe castle first. Castle looks more flexible. Still feels like white has to be better, but, well, by a tiny margin. And then there is an aggressive plan to try to play some sort of queen d2 and castle long, which white might be considering, taking into account his development advantage, but, well, perhaps castle short is the knight b6. No, well, somehow black gets some sort of a pressure on the central, on this advanced pawn on d5, so white is not that comfortable anymore. King h1, it's sorts of prophylactics against knight g4, which now can be answered with bishop g1. So it's sort of, well, that's another trick. So, now knight c4, and white goes bishop c1. So c takes d5. Well, he has to take with the pawn, I believe. Has to take with the pawn, but then black seems to be absolutely comfortable. Yeah, well, that was interesting. Well, I don't know if white thinks of... No, come on, I mean, he has to take with the pawn. The bishop g4, Smirin starts to play very quickly, so that means he feels this position very well, which is, once again, perhaps in Blitz, that's more important than the objective evaluation. Now bishop f5, and then something with this knight on c3 is going to happen. Yeah, the b3 was really careless, because, well, now you don't really have a move for the queen. I mean, queen d1 and something with knight g4 or even knight e4. Well, feels like knight e4. Yeah. So now white is forced to take on e4, and then black can simply capture on e4, or even consider to take the rook on a1. Yeah, perhaps there is nothing wrong with bishop a1 after knight e4, so now black gets a huge advantage. Plus the time, so this tricky opening worked pretty well for Ilia Smirin. Yeah, he's one of the, say, few players of an older generation who can consider to be... well, he takes with the bishop though, so somehow, yeah, it feels more natural to capture the centralized knight, not the passive rook on a1. Still, the rook is attacked, and after rook b1, there should be something. Well, knight b6, yeah, simple and strong. Then d5 is hanging, plus c2 is hanging as well. So white at least Ah, well, rook b2. There was 91, by the way. I've just spotted. There was 91 and nothing too bad. Well, bishop b2 is and then rook takes c2. That's queen d4, rook takes b2, and yeah, Ilia plays it like an automat. Queen d4. So 2 pawns up for black. Knight f6. So black gives one of the pawns back. White doesn't take it. Oh, I thought queen a7 was a must, but yeah, now white takes on a2. Well, still it's interesting. Well, that's an interesting moment. It seems that white is playing pretty quick, and Ilia, he moves the pieces in sort of a lazy motion. But if you compare the type, I mean that's a so, well, as the saying goes, I mean, to act quick is to, well, make a slow moves without the breaks between them. So, knight g4, now it's not so lower. Now it's a lower. And rook c8, keeping the tension, that's the classy move. Yeah, and then bishop f3 is the threat. Rook takes, knight h4, and should be something. So, rook e7? What was on rook e7? That's something. No, well, rook e7 was an option. h4 and e6, and now black consolidates, and not much you can do. Plus, yes, and that's a nice trick. Knight f2, and then fork from g4, winning an exchange as well. So that was an easy walk for Smirin.